Hey guys, I'm Red. Thanks for checking out my channel. So about 2 years ago, we were in lockdown, so I started making these YouTube videos as a way to have fun and to stop being such an alcoholic. But since then, I've done a lot more work, so I was curious to watch some of my old videos and see if any of my opinions have changed since making them. And I haven't seen these videos since they originally posted, so let's, I guess, roast myself and see if anything has changed. This is my most popular video by far. It gets the most views, and I'm sure you probably found this channel through this. If you did, leave a comment below saying, hey, I found your channel this way. It is the Steadicam Beginner's Guide Part 1, so let's check it out.
Hey guys, I'm Red. I wanted to make a beginner's guide to the Steadicam, and this is my Tiffin M1. But every sled breaks down into 4 main parts. First thing I want to do is apologize for the coloring I did back then. I don't know why it was so blue. I thought I was doing a good job at the time, but now when I watch it back, I'm like, why is it so blue? What was I doing? Also, I want to apologize. I didn't have a microphone at the time. I was just yelling loudly into the camera. So a lot of people complained about that. I got a microphone. I don't know. What are you gonna do? I wasn't making any money at the time. To understand the parts, you have to understand how the Steadicam works. First, it adds weight to the camera, which makes it much more difficult to move in space. This performance comes off very natural. Definitely not reading. So to isolate you from the sled, there needs to be a 3-axis gimbal near the center of gravity. It looks like I literally said in the text, pose towards the camera and react naturally. Make sure your camera is ready to go. Do you have a way to power it, whether it's with battery or off the sled? I bought this camera to practice doing broadcast stuff with, and after I finished practicing that stuff for a month or two, it's just become a prop camera that I keep around and I use for TikToks or this. It's really not worth the time or the money to sell it anymore, so I guess I just have this old crappy camera. And before I put the camera on, I like to make sure the gimbal is at the top, so that it's not too top heavy before I move it to the balancing pin. Make sure you have a good grip on the post so it doesn't slam down. You don't want to look stupid when it gets on the balancing pin, and you have to fight it from flipping over. It breaks the most important rule of Steadicam, always look cool. I was going to try to make that first rule of Steadicam, always look cool statement a trademark of mine and add it into a bunch of videos, but I just thought it was sort of stupid. Let me know if you guys want some merch of first rule of Steadicam.
This could also be done with the camera on, or at the end of your last job, but I prioritize going home, and usually forget.
These voiceovers, I guess it's still like this, but they almost sound like ASMR for some reason, and I don't know why when I'm reading a voiceover, it just sounds super mellow and calm.
Make sure it's locked.
And then cable everything up, and make sure you're getting image on the monitor.
Can't not watch the cat in the background. That's a pixel.
Try to keep this cable neat.
What's up, kid?
My rig has a yellow line down the back telling me which is centered. Some of them are registered, and some of them you'll just have to look to see if it is.
I did put a lot of time into making these B-roll shots look as pretty as I could, and lighting each one of these shots. So some of these videos, this video took me a month. Commercial. Sorry about all the commercials too. There's a lot of them, but at least they're not in super annoying spots.
It's still a little fast. 1,000, 2 1,000. I usually between 2 and 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
So at this time, I actually did do 2-second drop time, but now I don't do that anymore. I got really used to using the Steadicam doing music videos, and they want a lot of Dutch movement and a lot of things like that. So I actually got used to doing 0 drop time. So just completely neutrally balanced, and I prefer it that way.
And it's time to put it on the arm to see how that is set. But you gotta put the vest on to do that, and I haven't talked about the vest at all yet, so let's talk about the vest.
You can see that I stopped reading and just started talking at this point, and it looks so much better and sounds so much better, so much more natural.
Now that that's set, you're ready to pick up the rig. You wanna get close to the rig and bend over. You don't want to bend your legs here. I like to joke that you bow down to Garrett for giving you this great job. Then you want to walk up very close to the rig so that the arm does all the lifting for you. Unlock it and pick it right up.
I also would put the rig higher than this, but I put it this low specifically for framing for this video, but if you're working and stuff, put the rig higher. It's so much easier.
So that was a brief introduction to the Steadicam and all of its parts. I want to thank you for watching.
So that video is actually kind of slow. I do agree with everything I said, but it's a little bit slow, a little bit boring. I wish I made it a little bit funner. So let's check out my second video I made, the Steadicam Beginner's Guide Part 2. This is my second most popular video. This one is a lot more fun. Got a little better with the color. It's still super weird, but let's see how it is. But first, a commercial for me.
Hey guys, I'm Red. On the last episode we talked about setting up and balancing the Steadicam, but on this episode we're going to talk more about moving with it.
See this little sign in the background? It says life in quarantine. Unemployed 2-month reset is what it says, because we thought quarantine was only going to be for like 2 months. That turned out not to be true.
Now we want to talk about missionary position. It's your most basic everyday position. You're going to be doing it all the time. And also in Steadicam.
I still love that joke. It's stupid, but I love it.
Now if you notice, you can control where the camera is with your hips a little bit, but you want the camera to be floating right to your side comfortably. And you shouldn't be doing this no hand thing very often. It is more of a party trick and bad things can happen.
People still mention that video to me like every single day. It's so commonly referenced. I feel like that video did so much for Steadicam, just knowing that it exists.
So there's no longer a need to walk like a ninja like you do when you're shooting handheld. Stand up straight and walk normal. But it will still come in handy in case your cat decides to finally seek revenge, and you have to sneak out of your house in the night.
I had to teach my fiance how to use the focus unit to be able to get this shot. It's super worth it.
In a similar way to the way you tilt up and down, you need to place your pinky finger in the way of the post. It is not pushing against the post like a tilt. It is placing your finger in the way so that it cannot pendulum past the level point. You need to be preventing the rig from doing what you don't want it to before it does it. Correcting after the fact is too late.
These shots took forever to make. Getting the framing and all that stuff, the weight, because every time I had to change the camera position on my fingers, you had to rebalance everything. So, because the camera is actually bolted to the rig.
But also there's a trick to starts and stops.
You don't want to land with both feet on the floor. All weight should be on one foot, so you can take the next step without moving your hips. Remember, you can control the socket block with your hips, so moving them moves the camera. There's no reason to stand like a flamingo though. I use my other foot for balance.
I was just having fun with doing like these weird effects, and I'm kind of glad that I did, but I'm sure they weren't worth the effort to do.
Now that you've learned these tips, try them out at home and check out my Instagram at SteadiRed.
Hey Red.
What voiceover me?
The talent is a professional basketball player. Can we get the camera to his eye level?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So that brings up the importance of finding out what the shot is before you set up the rig, but let's talk about getting the camera up as high as possible.
This was such a weird way to talk about raising and lowering the camera, but I guess it was kind of fun. You can see that I certainly had more fun making this video than the other one.
For even more height, I moved the monitor down as well, to increase bottom heaviness as long as it doesn't compromise seeing the shot. Putting the monitor in line with the batteries also makes the rig more coplanar, making it easier to dynamic balance later. Perfect for those giraffe to giraffe whip pans. This adds an additional 2 inches of height, or about 5 centimeters for those people who have not landed on the moon.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I even measured it like that, but it's just, I guess, kind of interesting.
Now let's put the rig in low mode correctly, and to do that we need to take a look at my kit. Who left that in there?
Does anybody want a video of me actually looking through my kit to show you like what things I carry with me on every job? If you guys are interested in that, comment below and maybe I'll make that video.
These two parts are essentially the same thing. One made by Tiffin and one made by Clean Camera Support. They're F-brackets and they allow you to flip over the gimbal handle to allow you to get the camera lower and to put the handle back into proper relationship with the rig. I do prefer the clean one because it gets lower and to me I trust it a little more. It also gives you more to hold on to. But this one is a prototype and is not currently able to be used. They are fixing it.
They did actually finally fix it after this, and it works great. I don't even carry the Tiffin one anymore. I love the clean one. And I also bought a longer post, a 12-inch post, so that I can get the camera all the way to the ground if I want to. So that's what I use for low mod.
I also use this handle in conjunction with the long arm post and a pin to get the camera really low, but it is awkward and probably not the best way to do it.
I did do that for a little while to save some money and be cheap, but it sucks, and don't do that. In fact, I never use this handle anymore, although it is like a really nice handle. I just don't use it for anything. If you're interested in purchasing it, please let me know.
Well, if you like this video, please check out my Instagram at SteadiRed. And if you like this one, you'll probably like the part 1 of it. You probably should have watched that one first.
So I clearly liked that video more. I liked making that video more, and I had worked out some of the bugs of making videos at that point. It's still like kind of slow a little bit in some spots, but I think it's more interesting to watch for sure. So I don't know if this is enough content for a whole video, so let's check out another one. Let's check out my third one. The Steadicam Beginner's Guide Part 3, Buying a Rig and What You something something. It doesn't fit.
Hey guys, I'm Red. You're interested in Steadicam and you're finally ready to empty out your savings and get yourself a rig. But there are some very important steps to take before you do that.
Oh, different color backgrounds. Interesting. I was experimenting with the different colors, although my LED light doesn't do that many colors. So also the color looks a lot better. Like my skin looks like skin tone. So that's cool. This is prop money. I don't have cash.
But before we get to that, everything in this video is my opinion. And although there are a lot of brands mentioned in this video, none of them are sponsors, and I will link to everything in the description below.
Oh yeah, this is the part where I thought I was gonna get sued by like everyone. Nobody complained. And in fact, some companies have reached out to work with me, so that's positive.
And if you like these videos, please like, comment, and subscribe to make them worth my time.
Still, like, comment, and subscribe would be great.
You can try a couple of different rigs, usually the lower end rigs, like the Aero 15, the Aero 30, the Zephyr, and see if you're even interested in doing it. If you're really serious about it,
Pixel still gets in shots all the time. I totally forgot that he stole the show on this one. Seriously, like he just said. Honestly, this is exactly the time for you to jump up there. It's perfect timing. I'm gonna try it. Let's see if this will look super normal on camera. I hope it's not a cat butthole the whole time.
So once you get educated on the rig, go out and buy yourself one. But before you spend your whole budget on that, there's a lot of accessories you need also, and you can really get a lot of things for the rig.
I swear I buy something new on every job. Basically every job costs me like $100 or $200 in like some new cable I need or some mounting option I need. And eventually that's gonna go away, but man, every job costs me like $100.
But there are certain things that you need on basically every job, and you should have day one. So let's talk about that.
You're going to need a stand. If you have a smaller rig, any C-stand will do.
When I was getting a stand, I recommend the large straps. I wouldn't do that anymore. It makes it much harder to fit through doorways, and I don't think it needs the bigger footprint. So I would go with the smaller straps when you're purchasing yours.
I recommend getting 4 batteries to start, and at minimum a 2-position charger, although a 4-position charger is better.
On an average job, I actually carry 6 batteries with me, and I find that that's not an issue. If I'm gonna be powering the camera, sometimes it is, I'll bring extra batteries, but usually 6 is fine. And they fit in one case, which is nice when I'm loading my car.
I also carry some V-mount to gold converters in case if I get to charge my batteries the night before. I need to use some other ones. I've never had to use them, but they do help me sleep a little better at night.
I've still never used them, so I can't really say recommend getting those anymore. Just charge your batteries and be responsible.
You're also going to need to get specific cables for each camera you want to do that with, but it gets pretty expensive, so I don't recommend it for a beginner.
So I wouldn't recommend getting the specific cables anymore. I did, and it is easier, but you can get just a gold mount to like 4-pin XLR adapter, and just power off the gold mount battery every time. Because this is like $1,000 in cables.
I keep a 11/32, a 3/8, and a 5/16 for different reasons, along with a 3/8 nut driver, and a bunch of tools that came with my rig, like the gimbal tool, the arm tool, this thing.
This gravity changing thing was like, why? It took way more time than it was worth, but I think it's funny, so I'm glad I did it. I like that video. It's kind of a weird one. It's very gear specific, but I don't know, it's kind of fun. So thanks for watching my video. Hopefully this works. I can't even tell if this is gonna be a good video or not, so I guess if you never see it, then it wasn't. So thanks for watching my video. It was very nostalgic for me to go back and watch these videos. I haven't watched them since they posted initially, and I mean, how weird would it be if I just watched these videos all the time? So if you liked it, please leave a like below and subscribe. I really appreciate when you do. And if you like this video, you'll probably like some of these other videos, so check them out as well. Did you do it? Should have done it.